Hey, soccer fans, this is Nick from Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central, and I am picking Austin and LAFC to get back in the win column and for Philadelphia to keep on rolling. Stay tuned and listen for the reasons why, as well as all of my picks and predictions for Week 32 in Major League Soccer coming up very, very shortly. Hey, soccer fans, once again, welcome to Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central. I am your host, Nick, and I'm excited to be back with you on this Wednesday, September 14th, looking at all the matchups this upcoming weekend, the 17th and 18th of September, week 32. Just a few more games for each team's left here in Major League Soccer. And on this wonderful Wednesday, there are live games going on right now. So make sure you look at all of these midweek action, these games here to see if any players are injured. Pick up cards, yellow card accumulation, red card suspension, if teams are rotating squads. These are all the things that go into your betting picks and predictions this upcoming MLS weekend. And as a little bit of extra advice I will give you, there is still a lot of value on the over-unders here. All but two of this weekend's matchups, I think 12 games, have a line of 2.5 goals. And we have seen this be the highest scoring season in MLS history, if my memory serves me right. There are a lot of bets you can make on the over on goals scored to make you some money this weekend. Also, there's still value on those road underdogs, but I'll caution you, with the push for the playoffs and teams throwing caution to the wind to try and make it, or teams who have already been eliminated who might want to rotate their squads, call up some young players from the academy or their MLS Next Pro team to see how they do, it might not play out the way most games would normally play, say if this was May, June, July, mid-season, right? So keep all of that in mind. Make sure you check your starting rosters when it is game time, and that is the best advice I can give you prior to making your picks. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at all of those picks, looking at the MLSsoccer.com website, who has their odds from BetMGM. And here we go on the screen. The first matchup, New York City hosting New York Red Bull. And I'm not 100% sure if this game's actually being played in Yankee Stadium or at Citi Field because of the baseball schedule. So that might give a bit of an advantage to the Red Bulls. But the Red Bulls are at plus 230. I think there's huge value in picking the Red Bulls, and I think they're actually going to win the game. Take the Red Bulls. They're playing a lot better over the last couple of weeks, getting some results, and New York City has had one win in 10 games, and that wasn't even in recent history. They have no offense, and Red Bulls is not a team where you can practice getting your offense back, right? I'm taking the Red Bulls as the away team. Next matchup, Atlanta United hosts Philadelphia, and Philly, despite being the best team in the league and having a historically good season, they're still only plus 145 because they're the road team. Tons of value here, guys. Pick Philly on the road. It's what I'm taking. Next matchup, New England hosting the Montreal Impact. Oops, scratch that. CF Montreal. Old habits die hard. Except when you're New England, because their old habit was winning, and now their new habit is to really struggle on offense. However, Montreal has been struggling a little bit as well. They have been dropping points late or having to come from behind late, I should say, and they looked a little shaky with a 2-goal lead against the Chicago Fire. Now, that being said, they're going up pretty much against the toothless New England team. So Montreal, for the first time in a long time, even though you're at plus 200, I am picking the Snowflakes of Montreal to beat the Revs of New England. Anyway, our next matchup. Now we're going a little bit south into some warmer territory where Orlando hosts Toronto FC. Now, Orlando, they're coming off that U.S. Open Cup victory from last Wednesday, a week ago, and then just got crushed by the Union 5-1 in their last matchup. TFC hasn't fared much better, and they don't even have a trophy to show for it, right? They got shellacked 4-2 by Atlanta. However, TFC has tons of value as the road team. Orlando City is struggling on offense, And I think TFC gets the job done as the road team. I am favoring road teams this weekend, mostly for the value, but also because I think they're going to win. I've got the men in red from north of the border, Toronto FC, to win this one. Our next matchup, speaking of men in red, we've got the Chicago Fire hosting expansion side Charlotte FC. And this is hard for me as a hometown Chicago Fire fan to say, but I'm actually picking Charlotte in this game. Charlotte is desperate to go out with a little bit of pride at the end of their expansion season. And Chicago's playoff dreams, I think, are less than 1% right now. Their odds, so those dreams have been shattered with their just awful loss to Montreal last weekend here in Soldier Field, or earlier the week in Soldier Field, right? So Chicago is out of it. I expect to see a heavily rotated squad. I don't expect to see Shaqiri get a full 90. I expect to see a lot of young players coming up from Chicago Fire too, and that's why I think Charlotte will have the edge again as the road team at plus 300. I have no faith in the Fire. Mind you, I'm making this pick a lot with my heart here, right? Because I've seen them collapse. I've seen the Fire go on 10-game losing streaks. I've seen them win 5 of 7 as well. But I think in this case, Charlotte comes back, gets the revenge game against the Fire, and wins it as a huge road dog at plus 300. Our next matchup is over in the Western Conference now. Sporting Kansas City hosting the Loons of Minnesota United. And both of these teams have struggled a bit as of late, but Minnesota's coming off a nice draw. They have a lot more to play for. Reynoso is back in form, and I am taking the Loons again on the road at plus 260. Tons of road value. The next matchup, I'm sticking with the home team, though, because I really think Austin FC is going to reverse their fortunes as of late and get a win against Nashville. Austin is the home team, so they're getting a bit of a bump there, both in the odds and in my mind, as well as they need this game. They are up for this game. They have been wanting to go after the top teams in the Western Conference and have overlooked some of the lesser competition to their own detriment. I think they're up for this one, and I think Nashville is not going to be able to match that across the board. I've got Austin at home. Next matchup, Real Salt Lake against FC Cincinnati. And even though it's a cross-conference game, East versus West, this matters to both of these teams, and I think Cincinnati is just playing better. They have better offense, and they have a better team. Both teams are playing for the playoffs, but FC Cincinnati cannot miss the playoffs for another straight year. I've got FC Cincinnati. They're in fine form. And again, at plus 260, geez, do these odds makers know much about the MLS road schedule? Maybe they know more than me. That's why I'm doing these videos, and they're the ones making the odds and making the money. But I still think FC Cincinnati, on every metric, is going to outperform Salt Lake in that game. Our next matchup, Vancouver hosts the Seattle Sounders. This was an interesting, from an odds standpoint, Vancouver's at 155, Seattle's at plus 150, and the tie is at plus 250. So Vancouver has towards the bottom of the table. Seattle is still fighting for their playoff lives. They are saying and doing all the right things, both on the pitch and in the locker room. I've got Seattle winning this game. I think it's a good play, even if it is just plus 150. Our next matchup stays in the West. LA Galaxy hosting the Colorado Rapids, and I've got the Galaxy winning this one. This is my home win pick here. They're at minus 140 to Colorado's plus 310, as well as the tie is at plus 300. So huge odds regardless against the Rapids. Galaxy are playing a lot better. They still have some struggles on defense. If Colorado scores early or gets kind of a fluky goal or a PK, that's the only way I see this game swinging. But with as long as Chicharito doesn't take another penalty kick, I think the Galaxy will be fine. Ricky Puig is really fitting into this league well and fitting into the Galaxy well. We've got the Galaxy to win. Final matchup of the Friday slate, or of the Saturday slate, the 17th. San Jose is hosting FC Dallas, and you cannot bet on San Jose because you are never going to know what they're going to get at any point in time during the season. I've got Dallas to win this one. I'm going to pick Dallas. Both teams are at, well, San Jose's plus 150, Dallas is plus 155, but Dallas is so much the better team, and they're going to win this game. Put the money on Dallas. Moving into Sunday, September 18th, we've got 3 games. First up, Columbus is hosting Portland. Now, this is an interesting matchup because both teams need to win this game. Both teams need 3 points to help secure their spot in the playoffs. But both teams have been struggling to score goals. And Columbus is one of the 2 worst teams in the league about giving up late goals at 75th minute and after. So if you are going to pick a winner, if you feel strongly about Portland, you might get some really good value at plus 300 here. But because of Portland's struggles with goal scoring lately, I'm actually going to take the draw on this one. Even though the tie is at plus 270, I'm taking the draw. DC United hosts Inter Miami in one of their last matchups of the season. And Inter Miami, I think, is still playing for a playoff spot. DC United, we saw Wayne Rooney start bringing up some youngsters. He even started the 3rd youngest player in MLS history, 15-year-old academy homegrown. DC's rotating. Their season's over. They're officially eliminated. They're not playing to win. They're in evaluation mode. Miami is still trying to win and save some jobs while they're at it because everyone in that organization is on the hot seat right now. So I'm taking Inter Miami to win this game at plus 175. Final matchup. This might be the biggest difference in odds I have ever seen since doing these picks and predictions videos. LAFC at home is minus 375 to Houston as the road team at plus 950. That is insane, especially when you consider that Houston beat LAFC earlier this season, and Houston is coming off a 3-1 victory as well. However, you don't bet against LAFC, not this season. Take LAFC as the home team, even if it is minus 375. So let me throw up my graphic here for you so you can see all of my picks that I have made, and I'll run down it again. I've got Red Bulls over New York City, Philadelphia over Atlanta, Montreal over New England, Toronto over Orlando, Charlotte over Chicago, Minnesota over Sporting Kansas City. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those 6 games, all road teams that I am picking. Next, I have Austin to defeat Nashville, Cincinnati over Salt Lake, Seattle over Vancouver, the Galaxy to defeat Colorado, FC Dallas over San Jose. I have Columbus and Portland playing to a draw, Inter Miami over DC, and LAFC to defeat Houston to wind up the weekend. Those are my picks. Those are my predictions, everyone. Let us know in the comments below what you think is going to happen. If you think that you can use your traditional strategies and theories as we get towards the end of the playoffs here, right? Or end of the regular season and into the playoff final push. Do you think teams will be rotating? Is your team going to rotate? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to keep in touch with us, you can follow along on Twitter and direct message us at SOPsoccer or email us at sonsofapitchsoccer@gmail.com. If you want to support what we do, maybe you hit a good parlay on a few of our picks, throw $5 at us. Give us a super chat. Send us a super thanks via YouTube. And if you want to talk a bigger support and a sponsorship, you can always email us and direct message us as well. And we'll feature you on our website and our social media and in our YouTube videos and podcasts each and every show. With that, once again, I am Nick. I want to thank you for joining us here at Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central as we continue to grow the sport through conversation. I'll throw out my picks again for you for just a few seconds, and we'll wrap for the evening. Take care, everyone.